Elijah was pulled through the portal, landing in a storm of chaos. The air crackled with fragments of time, floating cities, frozen oceans, and shattered hourglasses in the void. The shard in Elijah's chest pulsed, drawing him toward a distant temple of gears and sand. Each step toward the temple felt heavier, as if the weight of time itself resisted him. Inside, the temple's walls churned with grinding gears and rivers of golden sand. At the center, in a web of light, pulsed time's core, a radiant, heartbeat-like orb. Finally, a voice boomed, low and resonant. The Time Warden loomed from the shadows, wrapped in mist, his glowing blue eyes locked on Elijah. "You trespass where mortals do not belong," he said. "I didn't mean to," Elijah said, clutching the shard in his chest. "I just want to fix what I broke." "Fixing time demands sacrifice," the Warden replied. Before Elijah could respond, a chilling laugh echoed through the temple. From the shifting sands, warped Astra emerged, her body flickering erratically. One moment she was serene and glowing, the next she was a shadowy, jagged figure with blazing silver eyes. "You've already broken the hourglass," she said, her distorted voice reverberating. "Now he is free." As her words faded, the walls of the temple trembled. Shadows began to rise, monstrous and clawed, their growls resonating like a storm. Elijah shouts, "I'm so sorry, Astra. I promise I'll fix this." He turns and runs, the shard in his chest pulsing wildly to guide him. The temple warped, gears grinding and sands cascading. The shard led him to a crumbling clock tower, deep within the temple. "It's pointing here," Elijah cried, reaching the base of the tower. The shadows closed in, their claws nearly grazing him. Desperately, he found a hidden panel and thrust the shard into it. A blinding light erupted, shattering shadows with a scream. As gears groaned and time shifted, "You've unlocked more than you realize," the Time Warden said, his hauntingly familiar voice echoing. As the temple crumbled, his glowing blue eyes lingered on Elijah, a blend of warning and recognition, as if reaching out to a lost part of himself. Elijah was consumed by the light, thrown into darkness. Elijah woke with a gasp on the floor of his grandmother's house. The scent of lavender filled the air, and sunlight poured through the window. Everything was eerily quiet, save for the steady ticking of a clock. Sitting up, Elijah touched his chest. The shard was gone, but a faint warmth, like a glowing ember, remained within him. "Breakfast is ready, Elijah," his grandmother called from the kitchen, her voice cheerful and familiar. Elijah glanced at the old clock on the mantel. It ticked rhythmically, its hands moving perfectly. But as he stared, he noticed a faint crack running across its face. A crack that wasn't there before. For a moment, the clock's hands faltered, skipping a beat, before resuming their steady rhythm. On the table beside him lay the black key, now dull and lifeless. Elijah picked it up, turning it over in his hands. "Is it really over?" he whispered. As he set the key down, he glanced out the window. The garden glowed with sunlight as birds flitted through the trees. Elijah took a deep breath, letting the sense of peace wash over him, though a quiet ache remained in his heart. The clock ticked steadily, the key sat silent, and the world moved on. But within the quiet hum of time, the memory of sacrifice lingered, a silent reminder that the story was far from over.